If it's not yet obvious, I'm gonna be talking about Bluehost and Hostgator in this video. We're gonna see which one's better, compare the performance, support, pricing, and all of that good stuff. So, let's roll. Choosing between Hostgator and Bluehost isn't really even much of a choice, in a sense of course. The pricing is just 20 cents apart, the resources you get are suspiciously similar to each other, and even the support panel is almost identical. Why is that? Well, if you've been following my channel, you would probably know that Bluehost and Hostgator are actually owned by the same company, Endurance International Group, or EIG for short. And amongst web hosting enthusiasts, this company has got somewhat of a questionable reputation due to less than ethical marketing tactics that they employ. By this point, EIG owns more than 60 web hosting companies, Bluehost and Hostgator being one of them. Or two of them. And the general consensus is that EIG is a very profit-driven company. They cut corners, they sacrifice underperforming projects, and they funnel their resources into the projects that will make them the most money. But why am I even talking about this and wasting your time? Well, I want for you to understand that you're not choosing between two different companies. You're gonna choose the same company either way. You're choosing between two different products. So, which one's better? A 3-year basic plan with Bluehost will cost you $106, while Hostgator comes in just a little bit cheaper, $102. Keep in mind that these prices are discounted with coupon codes. If you want to use the same exact coupon code, you can get them by using the links in the description. However, I want to be completely transparent here and let you know that if you make any purchases through the links in the description down below, I'll get a commission. These commissions is how I monetize my channel without accepting sponsorship deals. And I know that it's incredibly hard to trust a review this way, and this could influence your buying decision. That's why I want to be upfront about it. I always do independent testing, research, and try to provide accurate and unbiased information. So if you're making a purchase, consider grabbing a discount in the description. Moving on, even though the prices are virtually the same, there are very slight differences in the features you're getting. For example, Hostgator gives you unmetered storage, while Bluehost only gives you 50 gigabytes. But the storage is only different on paper, because unmetered does not equal unlimited. They will still penalize you if you upload too much, and in normal use cases you're never gonna come close to using 50 gigabytes, so the Bluehost plans might as well just say unmetered as well. In my experience, regular websites that most people have will vary anywhere from 1 to 5 gigabytes in size, so 50 gigabytes is not even close to being restrictive, and you do get an SSL certificate for free with both providers. An SSL certificate gives you this lock next to your domain name, encrypting the connection between the user and the server. It's pretty much a mandatory security feature in 2020, so it's always a pleasure to have this added in for free. And in terms of pricing and the resources that you get, I would say that both Bluehost and Hostgator are pretty much identical. The only true difference is that Bluehost requires you to commit for a minimum of 1 year, while Hostgator allows you to buy monthly plans. Let's not waste any time and jump straight into the performance. To test that, I bought myself new Bluehost and Hostgator plans. I went with the middle options to get a nice ballpark estimate of what you can expect, and I did 3 tests: speed, stability, and stress. To be as fair as possible, I had to do some prep work first. I needed to create 2 identical websites, and this is where the differences really started to show. Bluehost made the task of creating a WordPress website very easy. All I had to do was click My Sites, then go to Add Sites and choose WordPress. After filling out all of the details, Bluehost did everything else automatically. After some tinkering around, here's the site I was able to make in around 10 minutes, I would say. Moving over to Hostgator, things weren't as buttery smooth. The default installer that they have on the dashboard right here just isn't very useful. I just couldn't get it to work properly, and I think I know why. See these packages right here? Yeah, Hostgator is actually offering to install WordPress for you by paying $100 while you're on the automatic installer screen. Keep in mind that I just installed WordPress for free in 3 minutes with Bluehost. To me, this feels like a last-ditch effort to squeeze some money out of you, because even they know that their solution is glitchy as all hell. Thankfully, there's another solution. By clicking the Launch cPanel button, you get taken to the standard cPanel, and once we scroll all the way down, there's the Softaculous Apps Installer. This is a third-party solution not developed by Hostgator, and it works just fine. I was able to install WordPress quite easily using this solution, and then created an identical website to my Bluehost one. The very first test I did was using a tool called GTmetrix. This will show how fast my website loads. Keep in mind that I have two identical websites, so the only difference is the hosting platform. In a surprising turn of events, Hostgator was actually faster than Bluehost. Hostgator loaded my website in 3.9 seconds, while Bluehost scored a 4.3 seconds. But in all honesty, both of these results just aren't very fast. More premium web hosting services like SiteGround are able to load the exact same website in around 2 seconds, which is twice as fast. But it's understandable as SiteGround almost costs 3 times more. Both Bluehost and Hostgator are actually relatively cheap web hosting providers that pack a lot of features. So naturally, something has to give, and in this case, that something is, well, loading speed. But these are still acceptable results for a personal website, and that's what cheap hosting is best for: small, personal sites. Moving on, I've tested out how stable both Bluehost and Hostgator are using a tool called Pingdom. It allows me to monitor my site 24/7 and see exactly how long it was down. I've run a fresh new test for 7 days, and again, the performance here was almost identical. Bluehost was offline for just 1 minute during the whole week, and Hostgator displayed no downtime whatsoever. And finally, I've sent 50 bots to both websites to simulate users. Since before we did all of the testing with no users on our site, in a real-life scenario you would actually have some traffic. First up was Bluehost. I ran the test for 5 minutes, and even at maximum load, Bluehost handled it well. There were no performance issues. What you should pay attention to here is the blue line. That's the response times. So as the green line, which is the virtual users being added, increases, the blue line doesn't spike up dramatically. And then I repeated the exact same test with Hostgator. The results were even better. Not a big difference, but both web hosting plans seem to have plenty of resources to handle stress without sacrificing speed or stability. There are some unique advantages that both of these web hosting providers have that could influence your buying decision, so I want to quickly go over them and see what's up. Bluehost offers auto updates with every single plan that you buy. That means you do not have to go into WordPress and manually update plugins, themes, and the WordPress version itself. This saves like, I don't know, maybe around 10 minutes per website per month. Is this a big deal? Well, yeah, for me personally at least, because if you just have one website, this might seem like a trivial thing, 10 minutes per month. But imagine if you have 5 or 10 or 100 websites. Yeah, you do the math. You also get a free website staging tool. This tool is still in beta, but it's extremely useful to manage your site properly. A staging feature allows you to create a copy of your site, develop or change features and content on that copy, and if everything works, you just merge the live site with the staging one. Your users won't run into a under construction or even worse, a glitchy mess while you scramble and running around to fix everything that's broken. You'll have a separate website that you can work on and make changes, and once you're sure everything's working fine, you can just merge the two websites seamlessly. On the other side of the spectrum, we have Hostgator, which honestly doesn't really offer anything extra special. The only notable advantage it has over Bluehost is that it offers completely free site migrations. So if you already have a project hosted somewhere else, the Hostgator engineers will move it to their hosting platform for free. On Bluehost, this is a paid feature. But you can easily do website migrations yourself and for free. I even have a tutorial on that you can find right here. And besides of this one thing, Hostgator doesn't really have anything else going on with it. Okay, so which one should you choose? Well, virtually they're exactly the same product under two different names, but Hostgator feels like it's an abandoned project, just left there to live out its days. In my opinion, Bluehost feels like an upgraded version of Hostgator, having more features, a better design, and more frequent updates.